Chris, this is your first interview as Bradford Town first team manager. How's the process been moving and taking the role on from Jamie Jordan?
Different, something we've not done before. Obviously, working with Jay for the previous sort of 2 years. He had his reasons for going. We respect that. It's a friend of mine away from football as much as in football. Someone I still speak to sort of daily, and I'll continue to do so. But as a club, we move forward. We had to carry on. It was probably more of a shock in terms of, last season we went through the ringer. We were in a mess. We were getting battered every week. It was painful. I think this year we just wanted to be a nice, seamless season. Obviously, you never want to change manager or lose a part of your management team, and a big part of that. But obviously, it was what it was. We done the best we could in terms of the transition. I think I said on a podcast recently, it kind of coincided with a few lads weren't getting minutes, so decided to look elsewhere. So yeah, there were a few fires to put out. I think in general now where we are, we've kind of done okay. We picked up results when we could. As a management team that was left, we settled. And I think we'll be in a good place moving forward.
You mentioned a word there, transition, and this season being a bit of a transition period, and now even more so with the management changing, retaining quite a few of the same faces. How have the lads found being part of a transition season?
I think the squad we've got is not a massively young squad. I think a few of them have probably been through some sort of transition period at various clubs before. They're a good bunch. They're honest. We've had chats with people. If there's any concerns, they've come and spoke to us. So I think they've dealt with it well, as best can be, and just got on with business as much as we possibly could, to be fair.
You mentioned that players are comfortable to come and have a chat when is necessary. Obviously, the previous manager was very much a people manager as much as a football manager. Do you still retain elements of that?
I think we do within the team of the four of us that we've got left. Like you said, Jay was different to me. He was a lot newer sort of mould of manager than maybe what I am. I said this is 19 years I've done it now, and football changes quick. It does it, and we have to move, and we try and adapt. Like I said, Jay was brilliant at what he did, and he was one of the lads. I think he still played as well, which obviously helped that bridge. But I'd like to think that the current group we got will come and speak to us if there's any problems. Robbie is a kind of as hard as he can be. He's still a people's guy. He's great to talk to. His knowledge of football and what he's been through in the game is great experience for the lads. Nick is probably a bit quieter. He's got his relationships with obviously the goalkeepers because it's what he does. But again, he's younger. I think one of probably more the boys than I would be, and I just try and distance myself from it a little bit. If I'm honest, it's nights out and stuff. It's for them and them only, and if they've got a problem, they'll definitely message or come and speak after. But yeah, it's a two-way street. We're honest, we're open, and I think that's just the best we can be.
Yeah, moving more away from the personnel side and looking at the football, how have you reflected on the results that we've had in that time that the management has changed?
Inconsistent, I think probably the best word. We seem to win one, drop points in a couple. Teams we should be beating without being disrespectful, we're not. Our record against the top sides is good, I think. Portishead have done the double, Wales have done the double on us. Apart from that, we've took points off of everyone else, which is frustrating because when we go to places like Warminster, Cheddar, and no disrespect, it's we've got to be better. We've got to prepare better. Mentally, we've got to be stronger in those games. So it's frustrating. We're in the middle of a tough period, and you look at it. You want to get results consistently and show that you're a good level, but we just don't. We don't turn up. I think recently it's been better. We're getting there. We had lads in a couple of weeks ago. We had a really good chat about what we want to do moving forward, standards of the club and them and how they do things. So hopefully it's a turning point, but obviously only time will tell.
Yeah, you mentioned there about not quite being able to raise it when we play sides lower down than ourselves. What do you think needs to change in order for that to become an easier task?
I think it's on the players. We can only do so much. We pick the team, we prep, we do everything for them. They're well looked after. It's just the mental side of it that as a group they need to be stronger, which is something we touched on when we had our chat the other week. What we've learned this year is, and the lads should know they've played this standard, if not higher, you just don't get an easy ride. You do not get an easy game. Teams that probably aren't blessed with the ability in players will work twice as hard to make sure that they can compete. And you see it not just in our results every week. Every week in the league there's a surprise result or two. And so as a group they've got to be stronger. I think we're there now that the squad's a bit more settled. We've done more training as of late. If we're not outdoors, we've pulled them indoors. Like tonight they're next door doing a bit of yoga and stuff. So it's about the changing room. I think we need a better changing room, a closer changing room. And it just took a while to maybe get it right.
Sure. And looking on our previous result, we won against Shirehampton away. How did that feel?
Listen, there's no better way to win a game of football than last minute. I think over the 90 minutes, I think we shaded it. We probably deserved it. We were good in the first half. Shirehampton were better for periods of the second half. But yeah, like you said, if you're winning a game, last minute, almost last kick of the game is definitely the way to go about it. So hopefully that helps the changing room, that helps the results and gets us on a run.
With the league being as anyone can beat anyone as such, as you touched on, how does that affect the ambitions for the remainder of the season?
I think I've openly said there's no pressure from the club. This year was about doing the best we could. And I touched on it recently that what we've achieved off the field has probably far outweighed what we've achieved on it. Steve, Tim, the committee have been unreal, to be fair. But like they said, it's just win as many games as you can, do the best you can, be good at what you do so that you're not letting the club and the fans down, and see where we are. Listen, we got relegated and too many people thought we were going to go up. I don't think it helped we won the first 5 or 6 games. Everyone got excited, the changing room got excited. But it was never going to be that. We were in a bad place, we got relegated, it was doom and gloom. So I think we just relax. We take it one game at a time. I think people look at the league table and who's flying and who's picking up points ahead of everyone else. I think we relax. We take it one game at a time. It's an old cliche, but we're in that position of no man's land where that's all we can do. And if we get a run and we touch the playoffs, then great, we deal with it. If not, then we've got to be close. We can't just give up and sack the season off.
Taking one game at a time is very important, and no more important than the next game, and that happens to be Cribs Reserves at home. How are you preparing for that?
Like I said, the boys are in. They've done some running this week, and posted in the chat. They're in tonight for the yoga stretching and stuff. And we'll see what happens. We've got a new lad in there tonight that will be announced. So he'll bring a bit of experience to the side. We've probably got, I think, Fabian's banned for Saturday. Matty Richards is probably a bit too soon. Josh Roddy, it's too soon. So we'll be strong and we'll know what we're up against. They're a good footballing side. We've seen that at their place. And like I said, they're flying. They're well out there. They went about it quietly. I don't think anyone really spoke about him until sort of just before Christmas. They went about their business, they got it done, and they've put themselves in a great position in the league. But we have to start backing ourselves. We went there and we picked up a good result on a day where we had 4 under 16s on the bench that come on and were brilliant. So yeah, I think it's all about us. We'll prep as best we can. We'll get in early Saturday and see what happens.
With those names you've mentioned there, are there any other notable absentees from the squad?
No, Corey will be touch and go. His availability's hit and miss at best at the minute. He started up his own business, so he's putting some time into that, and he'll play for us when he can. But he was one of the ones that turned up at Cribs, having not played for a while, ran himself into the ground. It was unreal. Apart from that, I think most are available Saturday, so we should be good to go.
Perfect. Well, thank you for your time, Chris.
You're welcome.